The Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, thank you so much for being so hospitable to let us hear some stories in your remarkable church.
Glad to do it. That's what we call ourselves fellowship. We believe in fellowship.
I have been studying your career, and one of the things that strikes me as powerful about your career is your ability to build. And I'm going to start with a question that says, how did God call you to be such a builder of such a place like the Village?
I don't know, because I started off in a small church in St. Louis with my grandmother, church set up on the hill, the Devotional Baptist Church. And I had no idea I'd be winding up being a pastor. My grandmother always wanted a pastor in the family, so she kept us in church, sun up to sundown, Baptist church. And then my mother came to Detroit, and I met a gentleman by the name of James Wadsworth, who was pastor of a Presbyterian church, totally different than the church that I grew up in. But we made an instant connection. He used to give spelling tests in his class. And, I was in his Sunday school class, and he would give you a little token if you were successful in the quizzes that he gave. One Sunday he asked who could spell Nebuchadnezzar. You know, Nebuchadnezzar is not an easy word to spell. So I raised my hand and said, Wendell Anthony. And I spelled it, and he was so proud. How did you know that word? I just thought about it, and I just spelled. He said, well, great. He gave me a gold metallic cross. And before the service was over, at the end of the service that day, I was sitting next to my mother, and he said, church, have an announcement before we leave. Wendell Anthony, stand up, Wendell. Shocked me. I was totally blown away. Sitting next to my mother, I thought I was in trouble. Stand up, Wendell Anthony. I stood up. He said, church, Wendell Anthony, I gave a quiz today. He spelled Nebuchadnezzar. Give him a hand. The church, everybody. From that moment on, we were like that. And the church, years later, split because he was active in the community. We didn't have a place. We went to the Diggs Funeral Home. Charlie Diggs, who was a congressman, was a good friend of his. He let us have church there. From there, we went to another funeral home, the Hall's Funeral Home first, then the Diggs Funeral Home. Then we bought a little building he called the Chapel out on Wyoming. Then we bought another building on 6 Mile. It was formerly a grocery store and a funeral home. It seemed like we couldn't get out of funeral homes. But then I got the idea of a village. From traveling to Africa, taking people over there, the concept of a village, wanting to do everything there, church, school, even outreach places for the community to meet, banquet hall. And so the idea came about to build this. It didn't start off like this. It was some people had a smaller vision of just getting a building and refurbishing it. But my thing was, if you're going to do something, let's do it. If you want to build, let's build. Some people left the church because the vision was too big. But others matriculated to it because for them, the vision was just right. And so we were looking for land, and we couldn't find it contiguous to this, put it all together. And we had hired a land acquisitioner one Sunday after preaching. People kept telling me, why don't you go over here in this area and look? And I say, there's nothing over here. I said, no, Pastor, you need to go over here and look. I live 10 minutes from here. So one Sunday, instead of going by here, I made a left turn and turned up into this. I saw burned out homes. I saw abandoned cars. I saw tall grass like this. I saw drug syringes on the ground. I saw a broken sidewalk. And I pulled my car to the side, and as if something said, this is it. It's what I've been trying to tell you. Building a new community. Where my pulpit sits used to sit a dope house. Now it's a hope house. Out of that agony and tragedy, we were able to build this because we had a vision much bigger than that, and the people deserve that. That's why we call it fellowship. That's why our mantra is the church of the people, where the people are the church.
That's beautiful. And what I also have noticed, I mean, as someone who cares about architecture and walks through,
Yes,
I see this circular move through everything and that
absolutely.
powerful way of seeing the community. It also kind of runs with the grain of what we're trying to do with Faith in Detroit, because, you know, stories began
Yeah,
in a circle
right.
before they were in the kind of the pulpit and congregation, which is kind of a, you know, ritualists tell us that that's an oppositional,
Absolutely.
whereas the circle is where the stories can be refined and
Right,
passed on.
right.
Can you say more about how that circular architecture
Well,
inspired you?
from traveling to Africa and being in villages um, and learning to pour, we have a ritual here that we call the pouring of libations.
Yeah.
I first saw that done in 1970 as a student from Wayne State University. I was in Ghana, and the people greeted us, and there was a chief, an elder. It was the festival of the Homo, which means the festival of the harvest. And they were going around in each home, and they were pouring libations, and they were giving thanks to God for the blessings that He has bestowed upon the people. And I asked what they were doing, and they told me they were pouring libations, and it meant three things. People who have died are connected with people who are living, and they are connected with people who are yet to be born. It does not break, the cycle continues. And so I saw the architectural structure of the village. I saw the way the roofs were shaped. I saw the way everything was together. And when I came here, I did not want ostentatious colors. I didn't want a whole lot of reds and purples and oranges. I wanted earth tones so that when you come in here, you can focus on the main thing and it can be reflective of who you are. That's why when you walk in, the doors to this facility, to the church, are doors that were made by the same brother, an architect who did the doors at the Museum of African American History. He did these here. The motifs out in the front, they are caricatures of Black folk from Scripture, so that people understand when you come in here, it's your house. You and God is you. You're not second, third, or fourth class. You are made just a little Lord and the angels. Every hair on your head is numbered. God didn't make no mistake. If you read the Bible, it's one of the blackest history books that's ever been written. And so putting all that together, we come up with this. And then we had the architect and the builder. I had him to meet with all the heads of the various ministries and the auxiliaries to ask what they saw, what they wanted. And what you see is a conglomeration of what people said they would like to see after I'm, of course, blessed all of that and put it together. And this is a tribute to what, not us, but to what God has done through us. We've been in now, this is our 21st year.
It's you had that 2005 was a huge year
Big
for
year.
you, because you also got married, I think in
I did.
September, and you opened
did.
here in July, if I remember right.
Right.
And so that was quite a transition point. And,
It was.
powerful.
It was. And I was on a stool, a little scooter, because I had busted my heel. I was down in Atlanta celebrating and pushing for the reauthorization of the Voting Rights Act, along with Jesse Jackson and a number of others. And so we had a big rally in Atlanta pushing for that. And I had to get back to Detroit. And it was like on a Friday. I didn't have a lot of time between where I was and getting to the airport. So I was running late. I said, I got to get back. And my wife-to-be had said to make sure you don't do nothing stupid and before we get married. I said, what am I going to do, please? And so getting ready to go to the airport, I said, what's the shortest way to get to the airport? And a couple people said, well, it's on the other, you got to go across this fence. It's on the other side of the fence. And once you get over there, you can get a taxi, and it's the shortest way. And I decided to climb the fence, to jump over the fence. And I did that, and my pants leg got caught right on the edge. And I got caught, and I hit the sidewalk and busted my ankle and my heel.
Oh my
The
goodness.
most excruciating pain I ever heard in my life. I couldn't get up. And two brothers came, picked me up, put me in a cab, sent me to the airport. I got here. They had the surgery. They put me in a roller. So I had that. And during that time period, of course, my wife-to-be said, didn't I tell you not to do it? I didn't want to deal with all of that. But we got married, and we were blessed to have Reverend Jackson, who did the ceremony. He did it right here. It was historic to the degree that, first of all, he did it. And having just returned from his homegoing celebration, it just kind of put a lot of things together for me. And I know you have your own story about Reverend Jackson, but he was such a key impactor of the faith. And he reflects what I think we try to reflect here. Faith without works is dead. Fellowship Chapel is a praying, working, believing, and activist church. We act on what we believe. We teach it, preach it, and do it. I'm also involved with the NAACP, as you may know. For the last 32 years, I've been president. So I've tried to bring the church and the organization together. I have my people know what I do, they're involved. So it helps in that regard. For so many of us, the church is a one-day operation. Here it is not, 7 days a week. Today is Saturday. And there's a lot going on here. Our Rites of Passage programs are meeting. Our Institute Rites of Passage for boys, 6 to 18, and into Johnny, Rites of Passage for girls, 6 to 18. Teaching them what it's like to be a man or a woman, and they go through this process. So the church is vibrant. It's organic. It's alive. It's not a dead, dreary, do nothing institution. If you're going to do God's work, then do His work. Jesus never had a church. His church was the world, and He was out there, and so that's what we attempt to do as well.
I love the fact that I see layers in the vision here that I want to try to tease out because I think it's so critical.
Yeah.
On one level, I was thinking about the fact that this is a UCC church, and I was thinking about Trinity UCC in Chicago.
Absolutely.
And it has a similar kind of inflection of being both. Trinity's motto is unapologetically Black, unashamedly Christian.
Yeah.
And yours is rooted in Christ and